everybody, and welcome once again to the Icarus adventures of Meat Popsicle. When we last saw our hero, he was struggling to level up. So, first order of business, make a bunch of arrows. First of all, that's what I hunt with, but also it's a good way to get a little bit of XP going. Now, I'm gonna go out. Today I'm by myself. Sir Dialot is not around, so hopefully this is all gonna go very well for me. Hunting. Fortunately, I was lucky enough to get a ton of beasts right in front of the house. Like one after another. It just didn't stop. Bisons and wolves and things, whatever that is, deer, and harvesting all of that got me back quite a lot, because obviously I got mauled by a bear last time, so that was not great for the XP debt that is in this game. Now, oh yeah, that's a bear right there, so let's avoid that. Let's walk around. Also, it's probably a good idea to, just finish up the safety features of this little house. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not sure the railings are gonna save my life, but I don't know. It gives it a little bit of safety. After that, I went right back to hunting. And then I saw a croc. I'm like, I could probably do this. It's worth a shot, and then I realize I think I know what these little blue, numbers popping are. They're probably armor. And then that croc had a friend, so I start a strategic retreat, which led me to safety, actually, because that's one thing I learned. Crocs do not like to run after you for very long, which was good for me. Oh, storm coming. So that's stressful. I decided to go and just get some stone and little safe stuff around the house while the storm was raging. Get a little bit of sulfur and things like that. When all of a sudden, I get hit by lightning. I'm actually on fire, running, screaming. That's when I realized this game is damn cool, because I just got hit by lightning. That's awesome. Once the novelty of being on fire sort of fades a little bit, I decide to go back to hunting. And that's when I meet this pleasant wolf and his little wolf buddy. Wolves are annoying, but they're not too dangerous if you can catch them on time. And then this really awesome thing happens. That sound. Leveled up. Finally level 10. That means I unlock a brand new layer of new blueprints available. So I hurry up and go back home. On my way back home, I try to be careful and shoot anything in sight. I want to make sure I don't screw it up and die on my way. Get some pumpkins, drink a little sip of water in the lake. It's actually a river. What would you call those small river? Like a rivulet? No, again, a stream? Weather's gonna be crap again. But here I am, trying to figure out where I'm gonna go with that. So obviously tier 2 starts with the crafting bench. I have to take that. Fortunately I have like 6 points, so there's so many options. I really have to be clever. We also have to figure out how to spread it between me and Sir Dialot, because we don't want to have too much overlap, except for things that are critical. Now I'm looking at the masonry bench, because obviously I want to be able to build everything out of stone, but that's level 15, so not just yet. Although when I get to 15, I have to remember I need to at least have a couple of points squared away, because I'm going to want to buy the masonry bench and then a bunch of the different stone objects. So I decided to go for the longbow. I need to be able to make a bow again. Obviously the cupboard, because I'm annoyed with all these boxes in there. The rain collector, so we can have water in the house. That's gonna be super important. And while I'm there, I'm gonna spend a couple of perk points that I have. Looking at the habitation section, it's not exactly... no. Maybe some... the storage have larger inventories. That's super useful, since I'm probably gonna be the one building the different storage spaces. I'm gonna make sure that they're really good. Now I want to continue also gathering more wood. That's always useful. And having it take a little less space in my inventory is good. And since I'm going to be using bows a lot, let's make sure... oh yeah, extra damage would be great. So that's good for the perks right now. I'm going to place one of these new cupboards that I made. As you can see, there's a shit ton more space in these ones. I think 1 or 2 of these is gonna be enough to replace like the 6 or 7 little boxes I had made in the house so far. And crap, it's starting to break again. Can't wait to be able to build shit out of stone. Obviously, stone is going to be a great improvement to this, but in the meantime I have to keep repairing everything by hand. It's a little annoying, but it's part of the magic of this weather system. And by the way, I saw that the new patch for the game is all about the storms and the weather and how it can be a little more varied, but you do get a little bit of a heads up. Okay, so placing the new rain reservoir on the balcony, this should fill up nicely. Now I know there's a cave around here somewhere, so I decided to just, on the left of the house, I know there's a cave. I'm just going to try to sort of scale that little hill thing. It's annoying. I'm sort of fighting the geometry here, but I can probably get up there. I've been fiddling for what seems like hours. There, I found the path. I'll probably have to build something. Oh shit, that's a bear. So I didn't notice it at first, but he did. So I start running. Bears are the bane of my existence so far in this world, and that bear is very motivated by my delicious flesh. So I'm getting mauled here. I don't know why I decided to turn around and stab it with a knife. It didn't work. And for some reason there was a croc right there on the lawn in front of the house. So I respawn, sneak, and I can get my body back, but there's a bear and a croc. So this is gonna require a little bit of finesse. The good thing is, if you look at the top left, there's the XP bar. So I didn't have much XP, and the XP debt, as far as I understand, doesn't go back a level. So it's just like I have to win back some of the level XP that I had acquired. So right now I look at this and I'm like, deep wound. Yeah. It's probably worth learning how to make bandages for myself, and especially suture kits. Suture, des points de suture en français. Anyway, so I learned a basic bandage and I learned a suture kit, and then I make one. Just need some crap here. And so I'll be able to remove that sort of deep gash. So strangely enough, I respawn, but I still have some wounds. I think it's to try to make death a little bit more significant, and it does. So now, alright, suture kit, I'm fine. I got some stitches, and by this time, the croc is still there, but at least the bear seems to have wandered off. The good thing is crocs, they're a little bit slow and they tend to give up a little faster. So I try a couple things, like just maybe just catch his attention and try to, you know, pull him away from my corpse. Um, I get annoyed because it's it's not very fast. So there's probably a better way to do this. I'm just sneaking on the patio. Which, by the way, I kind of dig that patio. It's neat. So, okay. Let's get that croc to look at us. Come on, crocodile. So I can get my body back. Once in a while there's a bird that screams and it sort of freaks me out. Alright. There. Now he sees me. There we go. Come on, little friend. Let's just run away together. Not too far, just enough so that, you know, you forget about me. Alright, that should be plenty. I'll just do a little loop-de-loo around this rock, and I'll go get my body back. Come on. Yeah, I think he's gone. You know, cautiousness. I gotta be careful is what I meant. Alright, I got all my stuff back. That's good. Let's move on and go back to that little ledge so that I can explore that little cave that I saw. So I get in the cave, and caves, we gotta be careful because there's some sort of weird worms in there. And if you don't kill them fast enough, they spit crap at you, and that crap is poisonous, and it's kind of super dangerous. So fortunately, I am an extremely good shot, and I managed to get rid of the worm really quick. The other thing that's interesting, there's iron, there's copper, I see some gold in there, there's some different metals. And as you can see up there in the left, it's really a good source of XP to collect these rarer resources. So I decided to fill my bag with as much iron and copper as I can. Right now it's kind of pointless to pick up gold or other materials, because anyway I couldn't process them in the little shitty little smelters that we have. Oh, overweight. I'll just eat some stuff and throw away maybe like wood, because that's not like, okay, I can get more wood, that's not a problem. Alright, weather is really bad right now, but oh crap, I want to get lightninged again. So I get down there, definitely should build some sort of a stairway or something to get there. But I'll do that once the weather clears up, and I have to fix the roof again. Seriously, I don't know how many times I will have fixed that roof in that game, but still, the weather system is cool. Now, putting all of that crap I just harvested in those smelters makes me realize that they're off, because they're hiding the little pile of stone that's in the back corner there, which is still something that annoys me. I mean, it sort of hides it, but it's not very good. So I'll find a better way. So after that, I noticed that in the top there it says I have points, solo points to spend. So since I've been playing solo once in a while Sir Die-A-Lot is not there, I'm gonna use those points. So solo perks, it's a great idea. It's perks that are only active when you are playing solo, as the name implies. So I got this a little bit more stamina, a little bit more speed, a little bit more health, and then reduced damage from animals, hopefully that'll help, and a little bit of physical resistance. So those are not that big, but they might help. Alright, so get a little bit of wood, get a little bit of fiber to build that little stairway so I can go to the cave, especially because I think there's a second one there. Don't get surprised by the Komodo dragon, so if you can kill them, especially because the Komodo dragons are kind of slow. So you can usually get them before they bite you, but this one was sort of annoying me. The thing is, if they bite you, Komodo dragons, if you didn't know, in nature are like, they've got every single virus and disease in their mouths, so it's really terrible to get bit by one of them. So you have to be careful, because it's not just the poison, it's like every fucking disease in the world in their mouths. So they're kind of slow, but you have to be careful. So I decided to build a couple of of those angled ones, a couple of those flat ones. Still more Komodo dragons, which is good. I mean, I need to level up. Get a little bit more wood. There's one flying away. Okay, so when you build, you have to constantly think of the structural integrity of the piece, which is, I think, a really interesting concept. It's there in a couple of survival games. This one is really well done. Like, when you place it, if it's green, it means it's very stable. If it's yellow, it means you're getting away from stability. And when it's red, usually when you place it, it starts to shake already. And you have to immediately like strengthen it or anchor it, or else it's gonna break. So what I did is I removed the red one, and I decided to place a couple of poles there. These are a little bit annoying sometimes to get in the right spot, but overall it works really well. So now you can see that the piece I was on was yellow, but now that I've placed a pole, it's back to being fully green. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a couple of those floors. There you go. The floor is yellow now, and then I'm gonna place this one. The floor was green, and then this one is yellow, and if I place another one, it's gonna be red. So I'm gonna place it and see it's starting to crack, but if I am quick enough, I can put a pole right down there. I want to put it at the end. There you go. And now it's anchored to the stone, and so it's green. When you hover over it, you can sort of see where it's at. This one is yellow. I'm gonna put one last floor, which is red, and before it crumbles, I'm gonna put a pole. And now my staircase, if you will, it's kind of a rough staircase, but at least it's done. So now I can walk up and down that whole mountainside, and now I can go and finish gathering everything that was in that. I keep an eye out for the worm, but I think it's gone and it's not respawning. So let's just get all the iron and copper that I can find in there. There's some coal too. I can get the coal. The coal is going to be useful to make steel a little later. Not just yet, but a little later. So titanium and platinum are not worth gathering right now. Well, especially because most of them I can't gather anyway, because I have a shitty iron pick. Alright, I'm a little bit overburdened. I mean, I could probably run back home with my burden, but I'd much rather be at full speed in case I meet something. And anyway, I'm not too far away, so I can drop up my crap and then just go back whenever. Alright, get a little puff of oxygen on my way. And I did level up while I was doing that, so... Oh, that's a good idea. I'm gonna try to make more food. So I took the mortar and pestle, and I took the flour. So now I can make flour out of wheat, and I'll be able to make like flatbread, I guess like pita or lavash or some of those flatbreads, which are so good. So I'm just gonna put that mortar and pestle down. I can make a couple of things in there that are going to come in really useful. They're usually just like ingredients for other things like tree sap and organic resin. I think I saw some wheat on my trip down the seaside here. And there we go. So I take my little, what's that? Serpet. I don't remember what the name is. So I gathered quite a lot of wheat with that. We did some let's make sure I don't get surprised by a wolf. Sneak attack. Perfect. So we did some calculations with friends. I'm actually going to bring that wolf back home so I can put it on the skinning bench. You get a little bit more resources out of it that way. But yeah, so planting wheat is kind of nice, but you need to plant a lot of it, as opposed to just gathering from a wild wheat patch. Thank you, Mr. Wolf. So now I have enough wheat to make like almost 70 flour. It takes a lot of flour to make bread, but oh yeah, I don't have the bread recipe, I think. So let me look. As you can see, this is a very filled cupboard. Okay, this is nice. It's been it continues to process all the ores that were gathered. So those two cupboards are now were enough to replace all these little shitty boxes that I've made. And now I can just take a sip from the rain reservoir, so that's nice. We're becoming a little more self-sufficient. Alright, so I'm looking at it. I have a bunch of flour. How will I... Yeah, I need to be able to turn it into bread. I don't have the recipe. So where is that? It's oh yeah, it's right there. So I need to get the herbalism bench, which is tied mostly with remedies and medicine, which is what Sir Dialot is gonna take care of. I'm gonna take it anyway. Like a lot of the basic stuff we sort of both have to take, because this is gonna unlock a couple of things for food, and I think I'm gonna focus on food and he's gonna focus on medicine. So I put the herbalism bench in the back there. I'm gonna put the cooking bench next to it, and I'm gonna put the mortar and pestle on it. So now all the food and sort of grains and plants preparations are gonna be in the same place. But I still don't have that bread dough recipe. So I'm gonna have a quick nap. I was lucky enough that after my nap, my friend Dialot was ready to play, so we joined me. We went back to the cave. I was in front guarding it and gathering stuff so I could make a new torch when I got surprised by a visitor once again. Obviously the weather was bad, so I didn't even hear it pass by, but that's a bear chasing me. So I run back into the cave, I put my torch in my hand, light it up, tell my friend, and then we start shooting because we realized that the bear was too fat to get into the cave because we only had dug a small little hole. So we were able to shoot that stupid bear in his stupid bear face repeatedly until he actually died. And that felt fucking good. Payback's a bitch, isn't it? Now this was our first bear kill, and it made me feel really, really vindicated, I think is the proper term. So after that, we went back to the house. I was in a great mood. I decided, you know what? It's time for a little bit of remodeling. I don't know if we're gonna stay in this house, but the important thing I wanted to do is at least make a little path so I can get onto the roof, because Dialot had made a lightning rod, and as you may have noticed, the weather has not been very nice to us while we were there. I'm gonna move that little drying rack with all the meat on it out of the way. I don't know where oh yeah, right here, that's fine. There we go. Put the meat back on, and then just make sure that this little pathway is neat and well ordered. There we go. And then I can put the lightning rod on top of the house, so hopefully the house doesn't catch on fire again ever, at least not due to a lightning rod. So I'm gonna put some oh yeah, I can't put this on roof things, I'd have to make it a stairs thing. And now I can place this little handrail. It's kind of nice. Also, it means that when you're running really fast, you have fewer chances of dropping down. So that's neat. Alright, I did manage to level up a little bit again. So I got the flat bread dough recipe. I was able to make a bunch of it. I also got the water skin recipe. So as you can see, I can make a bunch of water skins. So I can bring some water to the herbalism bench because I need water for the recipe. And unless you have a container of sort to bring the water, you can't make anything out of water. Yeah, you know, it just makes sense. Anyway, so I'm able to make a bunch of flat bread dough. And once they're done, you can see my friend is hunting outside, having a good time. This is a nice little house we created for ourselves. So I go in the fire pit, put the dough in there, and it's gonna automatically be turned into some delicious pita bread or something. Now after that, we sort of got back home. I think we had enough for that day. That was after a big fight we had with some crocodiles that actually ate the bottom of the stairs. So I'm gonna fix that really quickly. And then, because we were really getting close to level 15, which would bring us not only a new tier of construction stuff, but also all the stone construction, which makes for a more permanent house, we had a conversation about whether we should stay there, which was just a safe spot we had found really close to our drop pods, or if we could move away. And I think that next episode, you will see us move most of our shit so that we can establish a permanent base somewhere closer to the middle of the map. So somewhere around the middle of the river that's going to be close to some of the cold zones. Yeah, that's the plan. Until then, have fun, and I'll see you next time.